presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Detroit.
Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is presented by
Bell Tire.
It is a hot, steamy day here in Houston. Today, the Tigers look to start a new winning streak as we welcome you to Minute Maid Park. And it's Game 2 in the series featuring the Detroit Tigers and the Houston Astros. Hi again, everyone, and welcome to Tigers Baseball. Mario and Pemba, Ron Allen, glad to have you with us here for Game 2 in the series. 7-game win streak comes to an end last night in the walk-off home run. But today, the Tigers still have a chance for a win and making this, today and tomorrow, a really good road trip.
And they would want to do that for their manager, Brad Ausmus, who spent a lot of time here. As a player, there's no way they can come in here and lose the series, especially to a team that's challenged like the Houston Astros.
Well, here's why the Tigers are optimistic. Max Scherzer is on the hill today. Back on May 5th, he faced this Astros team, and he dominated them.
You know, one of the things that Max did against this team back in May is he threw a lot of breaking balls. He threw a lot of curve balls along with that mid-90s fastball. 5 days ago against the Cleveland Indians, Max Scherzer made some adjustments. He went fastball, changeup to a lineup that had a lot of left-handers in it. Bo Porter doesn't have the luxury of running 8 left-handers out there like Terry Francona. Therefore, we'll see lots of breaking balls once again today from Max, along with really good curves and sliders to most of these right-handed batters. And really all Max needs to do is go out, throw a lot of first pitch strikes. If he does that, he'll expand the strike zone. These are a young, challenged team. They swing a lot of balls out of the zone.
Right, Dallas Keuchel was supposed to start today. He will not. Brett Oberholzer comes up from the minor leagues. He will get the start for Keuchel here today, who's got a bad wrist. Now, Jose Altuve's just made things bad for the Tigers on the bases, at the plate. This guy's just fun to watch, unless you were playing against him.
He plays the game at a different speed. I mean, we have not seen a guy play the game like Altuve. It's almost like a video game. I mean, this guy's running all over the place. There are some other guys in baseball that have this kind of speed, but they're not on the bases as much as he is. This guy has a ton of hits. Every time he gets on first base, he's a threat to steal second. He also goes up on wild pitches. He gets big hits. He's got extremely good instincts on the base pass. He's a really good player, and as you mentioned, fun to watch. A couple more days of Altuve and Tigers, they'll be all done with him.
I'm all done with him right now, to be honest with you. You know, when the Tigers were winning 7 straight, to be honest with you, Ron, they could make some mistakes here and there, and you would wash over them. But last night there were a couple of mistakes made the ball game, and the sloppy play caught up with them.
Oh, no doubt. Not only in last night's game, but really what started in Texas. They've made 7 errors since they were in Texas. They also made some throwing errors. They had some base running blunders. If they're going to beat this team, Houston, they really can't make the mistakes that they made last night. They really gave them the game last night.
All right, let's start a new winning streak here this afternoon. Tigers and Astros Game 2 coming up after a short break. Back to the Call Sam Studios. We'll check in with John King. Today it's Saturday in the park. Good food, good friends, and hopefully good baseball. Tigers Stros Game 2 next. Baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by Comerica Bank, a part of Detroit and the community since 1849. By Jeep. Visit Jeep.com to learn more. And by Maxwell House Large Can Coffee, good to the last drop. Back here in Houston, we're outside. It's a little bit rainy. It is steamy. It is hot. But indoors here at Minute Maid Park, it is absolutely perfect. And as the low man on the totem pole, Patrick McCoy has to bring the bag of goodies out. And they always make it a very interesting look. This time a pink backpack for the Tigers. And that is loaded up with all kinds of snacks and goodies. Tigers starting lineup today, presented by the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. And it looks like this. It'll be Rajai Davis leading off. He's in center field, followed by Ian Kinsler, a 7-game hit streak right now. Cabrera DHing today. Martinez will play first. J.D. Martinez in left. Torrey in right. You've got Castellanos, Holiday, and Suarez rounding it out for the Detroit Tigers. And they are facing the left-handed offerings of Brett Oberholzer.
Oberholzer is making his second start this season against the Tigers. Just recalled from the minor leagues last night. He's got a fastball that will top out about 92. Also, curveball, changeup, does not have a slider. Throws a lot of strikes. Expect the Tigers to come out very aggressive today against Oberholzer. Let's take a look at the Houston Astros starting defense, brought to you by Tim Hortons. Left to right, they've got Hose, Presley, and Springer. Gonzalez Altuve up the middle, Matt Dominguez, John Singleton on the corners, and Castro is the catcher today. 12 runners caught this season by Castro, which is 5th best in the American League.
So we are ready for baseball here this afternoon at Minute Maid Park as Rajai Davis leads it off. Rajai was not in the original starting lineup today, but Brad Ausmus had a change of heart, and he is starting things off here in the first inning. First pitch is fouled back out of play.
That's exactly what Brad said. Change of heart. He said Rajai Davis did not play the final game in Texas, did not play here last night, so he wanted to get him back out there.
It'll be Davis, Kinsler, and Cabrera in the Tiger first inning. And that is sliced in the air to center field. Hit well. Long run for Presley, who runs it down on the track. Boy, Rajai gave that thing a ride.
Well, just like we expected, the Tigers would come out very aggressive here today against Oberholzer. He throws tons of strikes, doesn't walk very many batters. Nice jump by Presley, their center fielder. Running this line drive down off the bat of Rajai.
So Davis is the first out of the ballgame today. That'll bring up Ian Kinsler batting in the 2 slot this afternoon. Another big night last night for Kinsler, and the average now is up to 306. He looks at one right at the knees, but a tad low, 1-0. Kinsler, a 7-game hitting streak, 3 out of 5 in the ballgame last night. And he strokes one in the air to left field. That ball is hit well. L.J. Ho's not going to get it. Up against the wall in left center, and Ian Kinsler has yet another hit on this road trip. It's a 1-out double.
Ian got himself a breaking ball that leaked inside. He pulled his hands in nicely. Holes in center field and couldn't run it down. And by the time the ball bounces off the wall, Ian Kinsler with another double.
8-game hitting streak now for Kinsler. And what a trip it has been for him. And now Cabrera will try and pick him up. Not very often where you go through a ball game where your 3 and 4 hitters like Cabrera and Martinez did not have a hit between them, but that's what happened last night.
Torrey Hunter also struggled in last night's contest.
There's a strike called on Miguel.
So 2, 3, and 4.
Well, I will say this. There were some hard hit balls, though.
No doubt. Torrey hit a couple. Miggy hit a couple. Victor hit one.
The left-hander ready with the 0-1 pitch. And it's fouled away. No balls, 2 strikes on Miguel. Brett Oberholzer is 24 years old, out of Delaware. Dallas Keuchel had some swelling in his left wrist as he was throwing his last bullpen earlier this week. And so they were hoping that it would calm down, but it didn't. So Oberholzer was called up from the minor leagues.
They say that Keuchel very easily could have made the start here today, but what they're trying to do with him is trying to slow down his innings.
Well, that's a good way to do it.
We told you about Oberholzer making 1 start against the Tigers May 6th at Comerica Park. And Mickey touched him up for a home run into the Houston Astros bullpen.
Tigers won 3 out of 4 in that first meeting with the Astros at Comerica. There are the numbers on Oberholzer. He walked 1, struck out 4, and he strikes out Miguel Cabrera. 2 gone. There's Dallas Keuchel, who is going to watch the activities today. And boy, he's having himself a year in all-star type campaign.
Out of nowhere.
2.78 ERA, awfully good. So with 2 outs, here is Victor Martinez. Victor hitless in last night's ball game. 3 homers, 7 RBIs on this road trip. And a ball outside from Oberholzer.
Oberholzer really does not have to pitch to Victor Martinez, despite J.D. Martinez being in the on-deck circle. And Victor's worn out left-handed pitching this year. And Oberholzer also has an open base.
Martinez hitting an even 400 right-handed this year. Bouncing ball third base side. Dominguez on the charge. And they will pitch around the one-out double. Tigers get 2 baggers strand a man. Here come the Stros in the bottom of the first. Out the lineup card. He had brought the lineup card out every day for the Tigers during the winning streak, but Dave Clark is out there today. So Jabba lost his job, so to speak. That's too bad for Jabba. He looks so sad, too.
I kind of like him in the 8th inning, though.
I do, too. Here's the starting lineup for the Astros, presented by the Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Altuve, Springer, Singleton at the top. They've got Castro, of course, had the game winner last night. Presley and Dominguez, and then Carter, Gonzalez, and Hose. A bit of a different look for the Astros lineup today. And they are facing Max Scherzer, presented by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Expect Max to be as aggressive with his fastball here tonight as he was 5 days ago against the Cleveland Indians. One thing that this Houston Astros team does not have, they don't have a lot of left-handers to run at Max, so therefore the slider and the curve will also be a very big pitch for Max this afternoon.
So the first order of business here is to keep Altuve off the bases, and Maxwell brings home the first, and it's a fastball missing away, 1-0. Altuve, 4 out of 5 of the ball game last night with an RBI. Wreaking all kinds of havoc in the ball game last night. Puts this one in the air toward left, but it's straight at J.D. Martinez, 1 gone. That's a good start. Bring up George Springer. Springer was 1 for 4 in last night's ball game. It seemed like Verlander had him all tied up with those breaking balls.
He sure did early. Then the third at bat, after giving him a steady diet of breaking balls in the first 2, they threw him fastballs, and he just really couldn't figure much out against Justin.
Fastball rides inside at 93 miles an hour.
He's got a lot of power in his bat, and he has a very quick bat as well.
15 home runs for the rookie George Springer, one of the top prospects in baseball, and he swings right through that fastball.
Yeah, the 15 home runs are a record for a Houston Astros rookie before the All-Star break.
Here are the numbers. Lance Berkman also on that list. Hunter Pence had 11 back in 07, but 15 now for Springer. There's a ground ball back up the middle and right by Eugenio Suarez into center field. It'll be a one-out single for George Springer.
It's a nice adjustment by Springer. Max threw the previous fastball right by him as Springer took a huge swing, but then he came back with a breaking ball at 85, and he kind of slowed everything down and hit the ball extremely hard right past the diving Suarez. That was a much better swing and a nice adjustment from pitch to pitch by George Springer.
1 on 1 out. Here is John Singleton. A lot of youth in the lineup, and especially in the 2 and 3 spots. Springer, Singleton considered 2 of the best prospects in the game. Last night the Tigers held Singleton to an 0 for 4. And he takes a strike on the inside part of the plate.
Eventually they'd like to find themselves a legitimate leadoff hitter, because Bo Porter, the manager of the Houston Astros, he likes Jose Altuve more in the number 2 spot because he doesn't walk a lot. He'd love for him to hit 2. And another reason why he'd love for him to hit 2 is because Altuve handles the bat so well.
No balls, 1 strike. Swing and a miss there by Singleton.
They acquired Dexter Fowler from the Colorado Rockies in the offseason, but Fowler has had, I guess, a so-so season. He really hasn't been the answer as the leadoff hitter yet.
And he has been suffering from some back problems. That's why he's not playing in this series.
Dexter, real good center fielder, has got a lot of speed too.
Singleton waits on an 0-2. There's that long wait by Scherzer, and it's lined back up the middle, right by Scherzer into center field. Springer is all the way to third. The throw not in time. Singleton to second, and he is in safely.
Tigers are going to have to match the energy of the Houston Astros' very young team. We watched Altuve run last night like a chicken with his head cut off, and already a couple of breaking balls for hits, but Springer running from first base right in the face of Rajay Davis, and a nice job by John Singleton getting himself down to second base on the throw from Davis to third base.
John Singleton is 6'2", 256, and he just motored to second. Just kept running. A lot of energy indeed early on here for the Astros. Second and third now, 1 out.
And Max has given up 2 hits already. Both of the hits he's given up have been on breaking balls. One was one slider and 1 changeup. And they haven't caught up to his fastball yet.
And Jason Castro will step in, batting .221. Early scoring chance for Houston. Did not go, says Kerwin Danley. 1 ball and no strikes on Jason Castro. His home run last night is 7th of the year, and it was the walk-off game winner. In fact, Castro said it was the first one I've ever hit, ever. I mean, that includes Little League. So it was quite a thrill for him. Now Scherzer wants Halladay to come out to the mound, and they'll have an early chat here.
Well, here's that home run that walked the Tigers off in last night's game. It happened in the 11th off Blaine Hardy.
And Castro mobbed at home plate, ending the ball game in 11 innings last night. Castro looks at strike.
Max has got a lot of life on his fastball. That last one at 95.
1 ball, 1 strike on Castro. Astros 2 hits already in this game. And we mentioned at the top of the show the first time Max saw Houston, he allowed 3 hits total. Swing and a miss. 1-2.
And a good changeup here thrown by Max, who threw a lot of changeups against a lot of the left-handers 5 days ago that Cleveland Indians ran at him in their starting lineup.
Scherzer struck out 8 in that start against the Tribe on Sunday, going 6 innings. In a bit of a pickle here in the first inning, second and third, 1 out. And he got him, strike 3. Castro caught looking. That's a big out for Max. First strikeout of the ball game for Scherzer.
And Castro took a fastball which was right down the middle. And basically what that tells Max, and it also tells Brian Holiday, they're up there looking for some off-speed pitches once they fall behind with 2 strikes. Usually hitters don't take fastballs right down the middle when they get got 2 strikes.
Now Presley, the center fielder. He was 1 for 4 in last night's ball game. He tried to hold up, couldn't do it. No balls in 1 strike on Alex Presley.
And a few weeks ago, Max Scherzer twirled his first complete game as a big league pitcher. And Brian Holiday was a catcher that day. This is the first time that Brian has caught Max since that outing in Chicago.
Avila getting the day off here this afternoon with Holiday behind the dish. The native Texan. The 0-1 is inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Presley has 3 homers. He's knocked in 8 this year. He is the guy that can play all 3 outfield positions. He has played left, center, and right. They've got him in center field here this afternoon. Right now, they're hoping his bat can deliver a couple of runs. And he looks at a strike on the outer edge. Another fastball again at 95 for Max. So he's got the velocity working early in this game. And he's ahead 1-2. Bo Porter, his second season as the Astros manager here. Astros victory last night gave them 35 for the season now. Run the count even, 2 balls and 2 strikes and 98.
We haven't seen that very often this year from Max. Him dial all the way up to 98 miles an hour.
Right now trying to strand a couple of runners. 2-2 on Presley. And he shoots one in center. That'll get 2 runs in. Bobbled in center field by Davis, but Presley will hold up in a clutch 2-out knock for Alex Presley.
Max and also Holiday are going to have to realize what the Houston Astros are looking for here today. They have not been able to catch up with his fastball. They've been late on every single fastball because they're looking for off-speed pitches. And Presley gets a changeup at 88 and whistles it right back up the box. That is not a bad pitch by Max. It's down, it's away, it's located where you want it, but apparently Presley looking for it.
His 9th and 10th RBIs of the year. The Astros out to an early 2-0 lead in this one. Here's Matt Dominguez. So Scherzer rather was humping up to 98 to try and get that final out of Presley, and Presley ends up hitting an off-speed pitch right back up the middle.
I was having a conversation with Jeff Jones about 5 days ago on velocity, and when the team was in Cleveland. And he says he prefers for guys like Verlander and also Max to start around 91 to 93 because they can command those fastballs better. And then when you need to go and get 97, 98, then you go get it when you need a big out. But he doesn't like them exerting this much energy this early in the game.
Dominguez the batter. And a wave and a miss. But do you think Max was looking for 95, 97, 98 because of the 2 runners aboard and just trying to get out of this inning?
I do.
There you go. A high of 98, low of 78. One ball, one strike. Swing and a miss. It's kind of how the renaissance or the career of Verlander took off when he started backing off on that fastball early.
Because he was able to command it at 89 to 91 on the outside corner. Also went in a lot. And also Verlander had the supreme breaking ball, which is the curve and also the change. Then he added that slider, and then that really added another element to his career.
1 ball, 2 strikes on Matt Dominguez. Runner bluffing, and Scherzer missed with a fastball. 2-2 the count. A couple of singles and then a 2-run hit by Presley with 2 outs. Scherzer had struck out Castro. Looked like he might get out of the jam, but Presley had other ideas. Now Max ready with the 2-2. And time called now, and Dominguez steps out. And it's kind of surprising that when Max holds the ball as long as he does, that more batters don't step out on it.
It's a great point. One thing you have to be conscious of as the hitter, though, and you make sure you get timeout from the umpire before you back out of that batter's box.
Ooh, Max thought he had the outside corner there. Did not. Again with a fastball that missed. So 3-2 now.
How does he take this?
I don't know.
Well, you know why he took it? And because he was looking for something else.
And that nearly caught the corner. Three-2. Runner will be on the move here. And a swing and a miss to strike him out. So Dominguez goes down. Second strikeout of the game for Max, but the Astros score 2. Having a chat with Brian Holiday, Max Scherzer in the dugout. By the way, our predictions for today's Fox Sports Detroit Tigers player of the game, presented by the McDonald's frozen strawberry lemonade. I'm going with Rajay Davis today.
My guy's standing in the batter's box right now, JD.
And Trevor's got Torrey Hunter. Those are our selections here this afternoon.
And we showed you a shot there of Jeff Jones having a conversation with Max and also Brian Holiday. Sometimes after that first inning, you have to change your game plan, and there's no doubt they're making some adjustments with the game plan that they had coming into the game.
So those conversations are ongoing right now. as J.D. Martinez stands in.
That's what the really good pitching coaches do. That's what the outstanding pitchers and catchers do. They make adjustments on the fly at this level.
This was in the half inning during the break when Max walked into the dugout, and Holiday there as well, and they were convening about that first inning. Martinez sends it back into the seats. 2-2 on J.D., who returned to Houston last night with a couple of hits. Both of them singles, and batting .313 now. What a road trip. .355 for Martinez. Here's the 2-2. 3-2 on J.D.
They are having a lengthy conversation here.
And it continues down below. Here's the 3-2. Checked it, but he went. Strike three. Second strikeout of the ball game for the lefty Oberholzer.
Oberholzer will not throw a lot of fastballs inside to the right-handed hitters, although he tied Miguel Cabrera up with a 91-mile-per-hour fastball. Most of his fastballs sink away from the righties. He's got a little changeup he'll throw to righties. Not many changeups to the left-handers. Lots of curveballs to the left-handed batters.
Here's Torrey Hunter. Fouled back out of play. 0-1 on Torrey. It was an 0-for-5 night last night for Hunter, and now just one hit on the road trip. That was an RBI single in that Texas series.
I was reading something on Oberholzer today. In his professional career, in any outing, he's never allowed more than 3 base on balls.
Really?
In his entire professional career. So that just kind of validates the point that the Tigers will be very aggressive today against him because he's always around the plate.
Minor leagues, big leagues, never more than 3.
Never.
Torrey batting .256, behind in the count, 0-2 to Oberholzer. He came up last year and performed extremely well in his first opportunity in the big league. High, towering drive to center field. Ball hit well. Presley going back. Track right in front of the hill to make the catch. 436 to dead center field up that hill, and Torrey hit it to the wrong part of the park.
That's Towles Hill out in center field, and which can present some problems for center fielders, whether you play here every day or whether you're just a visitor.
I really never understood the meaning behind a hill on a baseball field. I mean, to me, it would seem a little bit dangerous.
It is that.
You got the flagpole in play as well. Trevor Thompson did a nice little piece on that hill out in center field on Tigers Live pregame.
Wasn't the flagpole in play as well at Tiger Stadium?
Yeah.
That was 400 feet. 440 feet from home plate, excuse me.
And this 436 here, so it takes a moonshot to get it out to center. Castellanos cuts and misses.
And nice changeup there thrown by Oberholzer.
Nick batting .266. He's hit safely in his last 3. Here's the 1-1 offering. High fly ball right field. This will chase Springer back. And he's up against the wall to make the catch. 1-2-3 go the Tigers. To the bottom of the second we go. Lead here as we go to the bottom of the second, and you should recognize that face. There's Jeff Bagwell, who was a longtime Houston Astros, spent 15 years in an Astros uniform.
They say he doesn't come out to the ballpark all that often, but he did come out to see his good buddy, Brad Ausmus.
Here come the Astros now as Chris Carter leads it off here in the second. Here's the number 5 of Jeff Bagwell. He's looking at his numbers. He scored 152 runs one season.
He could steal a base. He was a good defender. He had a lot of pop in his bat too.
Almost yearly over 100 RBIs. Former teammates Brad Ausmus and Jeff Bagwell.
They had a lot of fun here. They won a lot of games under their manager Larry Durker.
Another part of the Killer Bees, Craig Biggio is also, I think, in the ballpark today. Boy, could Bagwell play. 2 balls, 1 strike. The slugging Chris Carter is up there, and he waves and misses 2-2.
He's got a lot of sock in his bat, but boy, does he swing and miss a lot too. And it really doesn't matter whether it's the fastball up or the breaking ball down. 1 for 14 this year against the Tigers pitching.
Foul tip into the glove. That'll be strike 3, and Carter is the 3rd strikeout victim for Max.
And Tigers' defensive alignment behind Scherzer here today. They've got to catch the baseball a little bit better. They've committed 7 errors in their last 4 games. They didn't notice it that much when they were sweeping the Texas Rangers, but it really showed up last night.
Astros eventually winning that ball game last night on the walk-off home run by Castro in the 11th. Here's Marwin Gonzalez getting his first start in this series. Slaps this one in the air toward left. Slicing toward foul ground. Suarez, nice running play. 2 up, 2 down.
Didn't really know a whole lot about Suarez defensively. And when he came up here, he was known more for his bat. But he's handled himself very nicely in the limited time he's been in the big leagues.
Well, the Tigers called him up at the beginning of June to see what exactly they had in Suarez. They saw a lot in spring training, but as you know, Rod, a lot of times that can be deceiving.
Right.
And they see 1 to 2 times that you really can't judge a player in spring training in September.
Yep, that's because a lot of pitchers in spring training are just getting in shape and throwing lots of fastballs. And then in September, you have lots of call-ups that have been called up to expand the rosters to 40. So it's kind of hard to judge very young players in those 2 parts of the season, in March and also in September.
L.J. Ho is the batter. L.J. 1 out of 4 in last night's game. And that is in their first strike. 94 from Max, who has been as high as 98 in this game.
And they have not been able to barrel up the fastball of Max so far.
Here's another fastball and a wave and a miss. Threw it right by L.J. Hose. 4 strikeouts for Max. Tigers baseball presented by Bell Tire.
Documented the fact that Brad Ausmus has fond memories here in Houston. He talked about the 2005 trip to the World Series, but he also told me this was one of his most enjoyable 2 months of his big league career. The big unit Randy Johnson was traded from the Seattle Mariners to the Houston Astros down the stretch. He got him into the postseason, but Brad told me he caught every single one of big unit starts that year, and he said it was awfully fun catching the big unit.
What a dominant pitcher he was. 5 Cy Youngs for Randy Johnson.
He didn't re-sign with the Houston Astros. That following year, he signed with the Arizona Diamondbacks and won 4 Cy Youngs in a row with the Arizona Diamondbacks. Randy Johnson.
Here's the 0-1 pitch, and Brian Holiday looks at the ball inside.
Brad said that was an awesome time, and you could understand why. A big unit was the dominant left-handed pitcher in the game that day, at that time.
You know, he won 5, but he also finished second 3 times, so he could have won 8 in his career. There's the 1-1 missing high and away. You know who's involved in that deal, that Seattle-Houston deal?
Guillen?
Yeah, Carlos Guillen.
Yeah, and Freddie Garcia and
John
Halama. Remember it well.
Here's the 2-1. Chopper back to the mound. Oberholzer will throw out Holiday.
That just goes to validate how you might be giving up a really good big league player to acquire a guy like Randy Johnson at the trade deadline, because Carlos Guillen went on to have a really good big league career, as did Freddie Garcia.
Well, when that trade was made, I think everybody gasped and said, Houston? How would he end up in Houston? Because nobody thought he'd come here or end up here. And as you mentioned, he didn't stay, but boy, what a 2 months. Eugenio Suarez looks at a ball outside.
That deal for the Astros to acquire Randy Johnson was finished with just a couple of minutes left before midnight trade deadline, and back in '98.
And it won't be long before July 31st will be gaining on us, and that's always the most exciting time of the year, or at least one of the most exciting times of the year. And more teams, it seems, the last couple of years have been in contention. The added playoffs and wild cards. There's a strike called on Suarez.
That's why Dave Dombrowski goes down and watches all the minor league teams leading up to the draft. I mean, the trade deadline, because he wants to make sure he doesn't give away somebody that really has a bright future in the big leagues, regardless of what the need is at the major league level.
Suarez strikes out.
You remember who he was traded for? Larry Anderson.
Larry Anderson.
They got him from the Toronto Blue Jays. Red Sox, excuse me.
Boston Red Sox, yeah. And Bagwell at the time was a minor leaguer in Boston.
Double-A.
Right, a double-A player. Larry Anderson, how about that?
And he might end up in the Hall of Fame.
Yep. You just don't know. And, of course, every Tiger fan will bring up the John Smoltz deal.
No doubt, no doubt.
Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. Here's Rajai Davis. And there's a pitch inside. Spun him out of there.
Oberholzer is doing something here today that he didn't really do a lot of when he made his first start against the Tigers back in May. He is throwing that fastball inside, four-seam fastball at about 90 miles an hour.
Well, when they sent him down the second time, right after he made that start in Detroit, by the way, they told him that's one of the things he needed to start doing, pitching inside to right-handers. And he has spun a couple up there already in this game, spinning Davis out of the box. That ball misses high.
Even if you do not want to pitch inside all that often, just by showing a hitter that you will go in there, it opens up his better pitches, which would be his changeup and his backdoor breaking ball.
3-0 is in there for a strike. 3-1 on Davis. Seven straight retired by Brett Oberholzer. Here's the 3-1. And he lost in ball 4. First walk of the game for the Houston lefty. That'll bring up Ian Kinsler. He just continues to rack up a ton of multi-hit games. And right now he only trails Altuve by 1.
He's having a great year.
Kinsler about a month ago had an 11-game hitting streak going, and going really well, and then Brad Ausmus decided he needed a day off. He hadn't had a day off all year. The Tigers were in Oakland. They gave him a day off, and then he went on a slide, but has since rebounded extremely well. He's up to 306 coming in.
So what are you saying? No more days off for Ian?
Well, Brad was asked about that the other day and said, you got to give your guys days off, even if they are going well. I mean, there just comes a time in the season where they do need a break.
Yeah, Tigers will play just about every single day leading up to the All-Star break.
The 0-1. But it does present the pickle that sometimes managers find themselves in when you've got hot players that you need to at least get the bench involved or rest those hot players, and you just don't want to take them out of the lineup.
Yeah, you got to keep guys fresh.
Which I think Brad has done a great job of.
And he would know because he played 18 years at this level.
So Davis, definitely a threat to run here. He's got 21 steals, which is second in the league. Trying to measure his lead against the lefty Oberholzer. Ian looks at a ball outside. One ball, two strikes. The Astros got a pair of runs in the first inning on a two-run single by Alex Presley with 2 outs. And so far it is held up. And the 1-2. Kinsler shoots it foul. Look out, right back to the Tiger dugout. That'll scatter him down there. They are playing Ian to pull. They give up the right side of the infield. And he drives this one in the air to center. It's going to be playable, though, as Presley comes in, and that is that for the truck. No runs, 2-out walk. It's left. Oberholzer dealing this afternoon for the Astros.
Came out today with a mid-90s fastball in the very first inning. As a matter of fact, he got all the way up to 98. The Houston Astros hitters could not catch up to the fastball. They were simply sitting on off-speed pitches, which they got. George Springer got a breaking ball after a 98-mile-per-hour fastball. That was a base hit. Singleton also got a good changeup, and Presley hit a pretty good changeup. Max did a better job in the second inning making the adjustment.
That he did. He got him 1-2-3, and now Altuve hits here in the bottom of the third. Altuve, Springer, Singleton. And the Bernstein advantage brings you the advantage for Max Scherzer, who has had it over Altuve. He's 0 for 8 now. And there's a base hit. Infield single, so that'll be his first hit ever against Scherzer. Nice diving play there by Suarez. But with the speed of Altuve, there's no way to throw him out. So Altuve, who has 32 steals, is now lurking at first base.
Well, we'll see how well the fact that Max doesn't have a great move, but he holds the ball for several seconds on the mound, if it's able to slow down Altuve.
Max threw that one in the dirt. Altuve swiped a couple in last night's ball game. He's the only major league player that has at least 20 doubles and 30 stolen bases.
And we were talking about Ian Kinsler in his multi-hit games this year, and Altuve as well.
Check swing, strike called.
And both guys got themselves in great shape in the offseason. Altuve dropped about 10, 12 pounds, and Kinsler had dropped about 15 pounds himself.
Oh, and 1 on George Springer, who singled and scored in the first inning. And that is a breaking ball, grounded foul, third base side. One of the things about Springer, we know he can hit the ball a long way. He's already showed that to the Tigers. Hit one the opposite way back at Comerica Park, but he showed in the first inning that he could really run too.
He's got really good first to third speed. He can also go second to home, but they're still trying to teach him how to get some good jumps. They'd like to see that speed that he has translate into more stolen bases.
It just really makes him an interesting prospect when you have a kid that can hit with that power and run as fast as he can.
And he has a plus arm too.
Well, in the minor leagues, he did steal quite a few bases, but I guess it hasn't quite translated yet to this level. In fact, he had 45 last year. To go with all that power, Altuve bouncing off the bag. In the dirt. 2 balls and 2 strikes now on George Springer. Springer was the American League's Rookie of the Month in the month of May when he hit .294, but he had 10 homers in the month of May. Altuve with a leadoff single here in the third. The Astros got a pair in the first, looking to add to their lead.
I don't know if Altuve is just enjoying talking to Victor and Miggy the last couple of nights as a reason why he doesn't want to steal, because they're talking a lot over there.
Scherzer now with the 2-2 swing and a miss. 94, and he threw it by. Let's go back to the studio now. Time for a game break. Here's Mickey York. Mick, thanks. Here it is 2-0 in favor of the Astros as we play in the third here. The standings in the Central right now. Chicago 8-back. Tigers up 3.5 on KC. They ran a rain delay at home, trailing the Angels 2-0. Funny you mention that, because Altuve, the last couple of times he was on base last night, he's just jawboning with the first baseman all night long. He's doing the same here today.
Well, he said Miggy's his idol. And you know he has a tremendous amount of respect for Victor Martinez as well. And Victor also from Venezuela.
A lot to catch up on, apparently. Singleton the batter. Bending that one outside. 1 ball, no strikes.
What a little burst of energy.
That's the best way to put it. He really is a burst of energy. He certainly was last night with his 4 hits. But he's not even giving the type of lead that would indicate that he's even thinking about running.
Well, apparently, up until this point, he feels like he can't get a good jump against Max because of the way that Max slows down the running game.
I mean, for a guy that's stolen 32 and leads the American League, he's just a couple of steps off the bag. He kind of bluffed that time with the roller down the first base line.
He's getting closer into thinking that he can time Max, but just when you think you've got Max time, he'll hold it for 5 seconds.
One on, one out. We're in the 3rd. Singleton had a single back in the 1st. It was a big hit. Set up 2 runs they scored. And it was his first hit of this series. He is only 22 years of age. This time much more forceful throw back there, but Altuve was pretty much on the back. Two and one. That's driven back out of play. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Singleton regarded as the top first base prospect in baseball this year. The Astros were waiting for the right time to call him up. They recently did, and at the age of 22, he signed a 5-year big league contract. And well, here he is in the major leagues, and they're hoping that he can just take off. He's got the skills, tremendous power. Max again ready with the 2-2. Just off the plate at 95 miles an hour from Max. How close was it? Yeah, it was off the dish. Good call by Gary Cederstrom. So it's full now, 3-2. And we'll see what Altuve wants to do here. There he goes. Swing and a miss. Throw down to second. He is not in time. Stolen base for Altuve. 3rd of the series.
And another fastball thrown right by John Singleton. Nice throw down to second base. Bounced but picked by Ian Kinsler, but not before that right foot of Jose Altuve was touching the bag.
So with 2 outs, here's Jason Castro, who struck out as well against Max in the 1st inning.
Max has already gotten 6 strikeouts today.
Max got 2 in the 1st, 2 in the 2nd, and now 2 here in the 3rd. Castro fouls it back 0-1. Scherzer came into this game 4th in the American League in strikeouts per 9, which was over 10, and also strikeouts period. He had 119, which was 4th in the league, so give him 6 more. David Price leads the American League with 144 strikeouts this year. Castro given time at home plate. And he just continues to overmatch them with fastballs.
They can't catch up to it.
It has been mid-90s all day. In fact, at times upper 90s.
He's given up 4 hits today. 3 of the hits have come on off-speed pitches. and those 3 came back in the first inning.
And a strike called in the outside corner. Castro for the second time strikes out. 7 of them now for Max. They get a runner to second, but leave him there. And as the Tigers come up in the 4th, Cabrera and Martinez will get things started. Tigers continue to trail the Astros 2-0. Houston got a couple of runs in the first inning, and now they've got the big bats coming up here in the 4th. It'll be Cabrera, Martinez, and then Martinez. Brett Oberholzer goes back to the hill. He walked the man in the 3rd, but got out of it by getting Kinsler to fly out. And gave up a double to Kinsler in the 1st, but no damage done. And here we go in the 4th as Cabrera looks at a strike on the outer edge, 0-1. Miguel struck out in the 1st inning. And Miggy now is 0 for 5 in the series. He leads the American League with 28 2-baggers. Drilled to deep center field. Presley on the run, still going back, warning track to make the catch right to the wall. Cabrera to right center field, but falls short. Tigers have hit some balls in this game that have just almost gotten out.
I don't know exactly what Miguel's doing. There must be something going on in center field.
Wouldn't call him shot, was he?
He's not that good, is he?
Well, maybe he is.
He could be the modern day Babe Ruth.
He might as well be. If you're going to anoint someone, the modern day Babe Ruth, he's it. Martinez the batter. Victor bounced out his first time up. And a strike on the inside part of the plate. It's been a kind of frustrating series as well for Martinez. He was 0 for 5 last night. 0 for 1 in this game. Martinez second in the American League in average behind Altuve. Oberholzer with the 1-1. Back out of play. 1-2 on Victor Martinez. Now the lefty ready with the 1-2. Ripped foul. Bouncing around the seats. Look out. Be aware. One and two. Martinez on this road trip, 9 hits. Had a pretty good series against Texas. Here's the 1-2 pitch. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Oberholzer last year had a successful debut. He had an ERA of 2.24 as a starter when he was called up last year. Pitched in both the pen and in the rotation. He was originally drafted by the Braves. Bouncing ball right side of the infield. I was about to say to second base, but that's Singleton with the shift on, and Oberholzer covers. That's a 3-1. 2 gone. Hey, just a reminder as you enjoy a cold one to look forward to Miller Time later in today's game, brought to you by Miller Lights. Here's J.D. Martinez. A strikeout back in the second for J.D. First time the Tigers saw Oberholzer, they got him pretty good. Got 9 hits against him in that game. Scored 4 times, but so far in this one, he has limited Detroit to just a double by Kinsler in the first. That's pretty much been it. Fly ball right field. Springer backs up now, and it's going to be another 1-2-3 inning. Tigers go in order. We go to the bottom of the 4th. As we go to the bottom of the 4th inning here at Minute Maid Park in Houston. Here are some news and notes around the major leagues. Jose Abreu homered twice last night in Toronto. 25 on the year now for Abreu, which is tied for most in the major leagues. And how about that home run that Mike Trout hit last night?
I saw that, and he just continues to amaze me with the things that he can do on the baseball field. He is an awfully gifted young man.
Well, the Milwaukee Brewers won their 50th. First major league team to reach 50 wins so far this season. Their lead over St. Louis 5.5. Can they hang on to beat the Cardinals? I don't know.
It'll be interesting.
You'll always find it difficult to bet against the Cardinals. But Milwaukee doing a really good job. Presley leads it off against Max Scherzer as we go to the bottom of the fourth. It'll be Presley, Dominguez, and Carter. The biggest at bat of the game belongs to Presley. 2 out, 2-run single in the first. And Max pours in a fastball strike, 0-1. Presley, a former minor league player of the year in the Pirates organization. Sends a bouncing ball to short. Right there is Suarez, and his throw is in time. 1 gone. By the way, it is time now for you to tweet your photo using hashtag DetroitFanPhoto for a chance to have it shown in an upcoming game broadcast. Hashtag DetroitFanPhoto, brought to you by AT&T. We may be doing that as we speak. Dominguez looks at a ball inside 1-0. He walked, or I should say struck out in his first at bat. Scherzer has picked up 7 strikeouts and has not walked anybody. That's in the air right side. Kinsler on the grass. 2 quick outs here in the fourth. Now Chris Carter. Last year, Carter struck out 212 times. He struck out in the second tonight, or today, so he's 0 for 1. But he also hit 29 homers last year, so it brings up the interesting question: is a guy who strikes out over 200 times, Rod, worth 29 home runs in your lineup?
No, I don't think it's worth it for Bo Porter. It's a team that really relies a lot on data and numbers, and he swings and misses way too much, and that's why he's not getting the everyday opportunities that he got last year. They let him play every day last year just to see what he would do, and as you mentioned, those are the numbers: 29, but over 200 punch outs.
But for a guy that struck out over 200 times, I mean, he had 82 RBIs, which is still pretty good with the 29 homers. But man, you're right, a lot of swings and misses. He's batting in the bottom of the lineup here, 7th in the lineup this afternoon. Here's the 2-1 from Max. Another swing and a miss.
There has not been one hitter that Max has thrown that mid-90s fastball to that has been able to catch up to it.
He's got him lined up and sized up for another strikeout, and he just missed. And he didn't go around on the appeal. So it's 3-2. Tigers have not been able to get anything going offensively in this game. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Another strikeout for Max. That'll give him 8. Carter is 2 of those, and 4 in the books here in Houston. favorite Houston. We go to the top of the 5th inning here at Minute Maid Park. Time now for the Comerica Bank game summary. The Astros got on the board first, and that was back in the 1st inning. They put together 3 consecutive, or 3 singles, I should say, but it was Presley's big hit, a 2-out, 2-run single that scored Springer, scored Singleton. And right now the only runs of the game because Max has really settled in.
And Max has got a lot of life on his fastball. This might be the best fastball that Max, for me, has had all year. He's just throwing the ball right by most of these hitters that Houston has ran at him today.
Meanwhile, the lefty Oberholzer has done the rest, and he is facing Torrey Hunter here in the 5th inning. Hunter, Castellanos, and Holiday. 2-0 Houston. And a swing and a miss.
Lots of fly outs today off the Tigers' bats, and to the center fielder Presley, and also George Springer, their right fielder.
Hunter, Castellanos, and Holiday here in the Tiger 5th. Here's the 1-1. Bouncing ball back up the middle. The Tigers have just their 2nd hit of the game. And Torrey gets his first of the series. Leadoff single. Maybe that will spark the Tigers' offense. Here's Castellanos. Nick hit one out yesterday. It was a solo shot. It was his 6th of the year. Oberholzer recently has not had to pitch from the stretch all that much. And he throws a strike.
Now here's that home run from last night on the first pitch, and thrown by Peacock. Rick Porcello was on headset. He liked it.
Swing and a miss. No balls, 2 strikes on Castellanos. Total of 8 hits now on the road trip for Nick. Tigers' only base runners in this game, a double by Kinsler in the 1st, a walk to Rajay in the 3rd, and now Hunter's single. He's got a healthy lead against the lefty. Castellanos takes low and away. One ball, 2 strikes. High towering fly ball to right, playable. Springer backing up. There's yet another fly ball. Torrey tags up, but just to force the throw. First out of the inning. Bring up Brian Holiday. Holiday tapped back to the mound his first time up. Brian batting .286.
Apparently Matt Dominguez, their third baseman, hasn't gotten the scouting report on Holiday. He will bunt for a base hit down toward that third baseline if he continues to get as much room as Dominguez is giving him.
Brian line toward the left field. That's a base hit. Holiday with a single. The Tigers now have the tying runs aboard here with 1 out. And right now, while we have a chance, let's check in with Trevor Thompson.
And as Eugenio Suarez makes his way to the mound, I want to let you know about the World Cup earlier. He and the rest of the guys were watching it, very impassioned with Brazil's penalty kicks win over Chile earlier today. And I asked Eugenio why everybody was on board with Brazil. Well, I guess it's because Venezuela borders Brazil to the north. And he said from where he grew up, it's about a 10-hour car ride. He made that trip many times as a kid, and he's cheering for them. But his team is the Netherlands, and it's Victor Martinez wearing the Brazil jersey. Brazil is his team. as far as the pool goes inside that clubhouse. Back up to you, Mario.
All right, Trent, thanks for explaining that to us, because we were wondering why Victor was wearing the Brazil jersey, and has been the entire World Cup. They were pretty fired up watching those highlights, weren't they?
It's kind of funny watching them in the clubhouse. They are very much into it.
Oh, yeah, they get at it, and they get after each other. Suarez batting here with 2 on. Eugenio takes the ball outside, 2-0. So big spot here for the rookie shortstop. He struck out against Oberholzer back in the 3rd. Strike called, 2-1. Brazil, by the way, did win in a shootout. That's what they were, the highlights they were watching over Chile today. Swing and a miss. 2-2 on Suarez. Rajai Davis waiting on deck. Tigers have the tying runners aboard now. Singles by Hunter and Holiday. Driven down the left field line. Hooking foul, though. Almost caught by the ball boy. He lost his stool, too. He's getting grief apparently for missing it.
LJ Hose is all over him.
He's trying to drag his stool with him.
Yeah, make sure you get that stool out the way.
LJ Hose giving him grief. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Suarez.
Gave him a look of disgust.
Now, in defense of the young man, that thing was a rocket hit straight at him, and it was hooking.
That it was.
Give the kid a break. 2-2. Drilled toward right center field. It's going to get down. Base hit. Hunter comes around to score. Holiday goes to 3rd. It's the bottom of the Tigers lineup that is getting it done right now. 2-1 ball game. Suarez drives one in.
And a nice piece of hitting by the youngster Suarez, who got himself a fastball that was inside, pulled his hands in nicely, and barreled up for a single.
Still only 1 out. That is the 8th RBI for Suarez. And the Tigers now have 4 hits. And it's going to bring Brent Strom, the pitching coach, out of the dugout. So really the first sign of trouble now for Oberholzer here in the 5th inning. Singles by Hunter, Holiday, and Suarez scored the run. .63 now for Oberholzer, and he's had a couple of really snappy innings. 1st, 2nd, 4th. Got some trouble to deal with now. Here is Rajai Davis. Let's go Tigers chance now starting to ring down from the stands. And the locals trying to cover them with boos. Davis down the right field line, foul off the end of the bat. Rajai a walk, and he hit a ball to deep center his first time up. Nice running play by Presley. Took a hit away in right center field. 0-2 on Davis. Austin Jackson was in the original starting lineup for Brad Ausmus today. But he made a late change. Davis is in there now. He's got a chance to do something here with the tying run standing at third. Only one out. Rajay's had 6 hits on the road trip. One and two. Royals and Angels game still being delayed by rain. They had some lightning in the area as well, which delayed that game. The Royals were trailing today 2-0. Tigers trailing here 2-1. But maybe not for long. Popped up. See if it stays in play. Singleton toward the railing. Hits the railing and it's back out of play. Boy, that thing snuck up on him.
Is the railing okay? He's a big man. He's about 260.
Yeah, he's about 260, and the railing. Oh, there it is. One and two. Of course, he was involved in a big play yesterday in a pop-up that was not caught down the first base line that kept it going for the Tigers. They eventually tied the game. So he's had his struggles there. Here's the 1-2. Outside, 2 balls, 2 strikes. There's activity in the bullpen. Jerome Williams warming up for the Houston Astros. And that is popped up. This one appears that it will stay in play. Third base side, Dominguez. Big out right there. Rajay unable to deliver with less than 2 outs. So they remain at first and third with 2 gone. It's going to take something from Kinsler. 1 out of 2 today for Ian. Had a double back in the first. The average now at 307 for Kinsler. He is 16 for 33 on this road trip, which has brought the Tigers through Cleveland, Texas, and now Houston. It's a ball high.
Now here was that play off the bat of Suarez last night. It appeared that he either heard footsteps from the right fielder George Springer, or he thought George Springer was calling him off. Singleton was given an air.
Big rip there by Ian, fouls it straight back, 1-1. Kinsler in search of another multiple hit game. If he gets another base hit, it'll be his 33rd multi-hit game of the year. He's already second in the league in doubles. Has provided the Tigers everything they anticipated when they traded for him. And they'll foul that one back out of play. 1-2 now on Kinsler, and Oberholzer is 1 strike away from stranding the tying run at third. Here comes the crowd now. Called up today from the minor leagues to replace Dallas Keuchel, who was scheduled to start. And in his stead, he's done some pretty good work this afternoon. 23 in this inning, though. This has been his most difficult inning of the game so far. Little pop up, shallow right field. Springer on the run, makes the catch. Tigers get on the board, though. They show some life. Torrey Hunter started things for the base hit. Holiday singled him up. Suarez singled him in. It's a 2-1 ball game. Tigers baseball presented by Bell Tire. Our score as we go to the bottom of the fifth inning. Max is back to the hill and he's facing the bottom of the lineup. Marwin Gonzalez, L.J. Hose, and then back up top to Jose Altuve. It's been a big strikeout game so far for Max. In fact, he's got 8 strikeouts through 4 innings. Now Marwin Gonzalez, who popped up his first time, leads off the bottom of the fifth in a 1-run game. He hits the first pitch in the right. Gonzalez leading it off with a single. Fans, don't forget the Tigers host the Tampa Bay Rays July 4th at 7:08. First 10,000 fans 21 and older receive a free Tiger Stars and Stripes tumbler. Plus stay after the game for a fireworks spectacular. Call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com. That'll be the 5th hit of the game now for the Astros. Here is L.J. Hose. Strikeout victim back in the second. Scherzer breaking ball away, 1-0. Hose out of the Orioles organization. In fact, was their minor league player of the year back in 2012. The Orioles, for the stretch run, needed a pitcher, so they came to the Astros, got Bud Norris, and Hose came back in return for the Orioles. And again he stays away. Now the count goes to 2-0.
If you're L.J. Hose right now, you pretty much know Max is going to give you a fastball to hit here. And the only question is whether you can catch up to it or not.
To shallow right field. And caught by Kinsler.
That gives you an idea of the electricity on the Max fastball today. The count's 2-0. It's a fastball friendly count. Hose is looking for the fastball, but he still couldn't catch up to it. Max got in his kitchen. He popped it up to the second baseman.
Look at the run on that pitch.
And he's even cheating with his hips, trying to clear his hips out of the way, anticipating the fastball, and was still late.
Now Jose Altuve.
He hadn't been late on anything in the series.
Altuve has now stolen a base in 5 straight games. And that batting average at .343.
Tigers were able to slow him down in the 4-game series in May at Comerica Park. He was just 2 for 16 in that series, and that's why Detroit won 3 of the 4 games.
Bender is a strike 0-1.
Here's our high-speed pitch on Max Scherzer, brought to you by Xfinity. 98 miles an hour. He touched 98 way back in the first inning, and has gone as low as 75 miles an hour with his curveball.
Here's the 0-1. Popped up, and then he'll get back out of play.
They say that this year Altuve has better plate discipline, not leaving the strike zone as often as he did a season ago, although he's a pretty good bad ball hitter. They say the fact that he's condensed his strike zone is forcing opposing pitchers into coming into a very small area because he's not all that big in stature.
These are American League ranks, first in average hits, multi-hit games, and steals. Driven foul down the right field line. Well, he can't hit the ball out of the ballpark. He has 2 home runs. Obviously, that is not part of his game, but just a touch of power as well to go with that batting average.
Well, something's got to give here. And Max already has 8 strikeouts. Altuve does not strike out very often. He's only struck out 23 times this year.
Runner goes. Fouled back out of play.
It's a good thing that Altuve fouled that 0-2 fastball off, because Gonzalez had a huge jump and they would have been able to steal their second base of the day.
Altuve just a couple of years ago was their minor league player of the year. Had 5 homers last year, 7 the year before that. 0-2 the count. And that one drops in. 1 ball, 2 strikes. There's a story they tell about Altuve. When he was 16 years old, he was in a tryout camp for the Astros, and they had the skills portion of the tryout the first day, and Altuve, well, after the first day, they said, thank you very much. You just did grade out really well in all the skills. The second day is when they played the games, and Altuve was sent home, but his dad made him go back the very second day and said, show up anyway. Just see if they let you play.
Wow.
And they felt really bad for him because he sat on the bench, just sitting there waiting to be able to play, and they finally put him in toward the end of the day, and he did really well. 1-2 is nubbed back in front of the plate. Holiday has no play. It's an infield hit. Jose Altuve with an infield single. That's his second hit of the game. Even when he doesn't put the big part of the bat on the ball, he's on base.
Well, Max just simply got out of the way and allowed a Holiday to make the play here, but not with the speed of Altuve.
Two men on now with 1 out. Altuve has 6 hits so far in the series. Now here is Springer. Springer has struck out in a single. He's also scored a run. Big swing there, 0-1. Max again featuring the fastball.
Mark, did you see where he made contact with this last breaking ball, Altuve? Look at this.
On the ground.
I thought it possibly even bounced before he hit it.
I think it did. Let's see. It might have. Or he may have made contact with it simultaneously as it was hitting the ground.
Unbelievable.
Here's the 0-1. 0-2 on Springer now.
He got him all tied up. He doesn't know whether he's going to get that mid-90s fastball or that really good slide piece that Max also has today.
George Springer, a single, a run scored, and a strikeout.
And Max can go one of two ways here. He can climb the ladder and get a swing and miss, but if he does bounce the breaking ball here, Holiday needs to make sure that he blocks it.
He blocked it, and the runner's not advancing. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Singleton waiting on deck. Astros lead 2-1. Was fouled back out of play by Springer. Springer with 40 RBIs leads the team despite playing in only 62 of their first 81 games. Started the year in the minor leagues and then really got on a tear in the month of May. And in retrospect, I think with a team that had more veteran players, he'd probably still be in the minor leagues, don't you think?
I do. I believe that. But he basically had nothing else to prove in the minors.
Max with the 1-2. Bouncing in again. Holiday has to block that one with the chest protector.
Springer would also benefit from having the more veteran players from an offensive standpoint, guys he can lean on. And when he struggled a bit.
Right now he's got Singleton behind him, and he is a fellow prospect that was just called up for the minor league. He's waiting in the on-deck circle. 2-2 on George Springer. Singles in the inning from Marwin Gonzalez and Jose Altuve. After the Tigers had gotten a run to cut the deficit to 2-1, RBI hit by Suarez. Swing and a miss, and Springer goes down swinging again. 2 outs.
And well located breaking ball here to get the swing and miss. And from George Springer.
That's going to be 9 strikeouts now today for Max. 9 of them.
His season high this year in strikeouts is 10. He's done that a couple of times, but he did it way back in April. And once against the San Diego Padres, the other one against the Chicago White Sox.
And this now is his 4th 9 strikeout game. We'll see if he gets to 10 again. I'm betting he probably will. There's a ball outside to John Singleton. He has a strikeout and a single. He's also scored a run. Originally part of the Phillies organization, then the Astros traded Hunter Pence. And they got Singleton in return in that deal. Way outside.
Well, everything that they believe about Singleton is he's going to be a good big league player. Otherwise, you don't give a guy a 5-year contract the very first day he steps on the baseball field at this level.
It really is interesting because I'm not sure how you can determine that without actually seeing him play big league competition. But they have made that determination. Runners go on 2-0, and here's the throw to second base. Tag, safe. Ball dropped down there, and now there are runners at second and third. Holiday threw to second. And the back runner there was Altuve.
As a catcher, what you're taught to do on a double steal when the guy takes off for third and for second, you throw behind the runner. And because that guy behind the trailer usually doesn't have the same speed as the guy that's standing at second base, but that's a difference. Altuve can really run.
So now it's second and third, and a 3-0 count. In for a strike, 3-1. That's going to mean another stolen base for Altuve, one for Gonzalez as well, and that's going to be 4 in the series now for Altuve. We had a rip on 3-1, and he let it go, and it's now 3-2. Swing and a miss, struck him out. Scherzer stomps off the mound with a couple of big strikeouts of Springer and Singleton. They will leave 2. And Mad Max has his 10th strikeout of the game. Baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by the new Chevy Silverado light duty and heavy duty lineup, and by Deliver Us from Evil in theaters July the 2nd. Back here in Houston, where the Tigers are playing game 2 in this series against the Astros. Right now the Stros on top. We go to the 6th. And the Tigers have the big lumber coming up again here in the 6th inning. They've got Cabrera, Martinez, the trio that led off the 4th, and Oberholzer got a 1-2-3 in that inning. And the first one is in there for a strike on Miguel. Now 0 for 6 in the series. He has a strikeout and a fly ball in this game. Average of .319. Here's the 0-1 pitch. He'll get back out of play down the right field line, 0-2. Well, what do you think about Oberholzer today? Looks like a bit of a different guy than he was the first time.
He's moving the ball around. He has thrown some fastballs inside. That last fastball right there to Miguel at 89 miles an hour. It kind of tied Miggy up. And when he isn't going inside, he's fading that changeup away. He's thrown some really good breaking balls.
Here's the 0-2. Popped up foul, back out of play.
And the Tigers continue to either pop up or hit some lazy fly balls to the outfield.
I've got him for 8 fly ball outs in this game. And we are only in the 6th inning. And again, the 0-2. Would not chase outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Miguel. Tigers got a run in the 5th. 3 singles. Hunter, Holiday, Suarez. I must have missed one because I'm told he's got 9 fly ball outs. Here's the 1-2. Miggy missed that one. Shortstop Gonzalez to the grass. 1 gone.
Let's take a peek at our bell tire pitch by pitch, and this is how Oberholzer has been attacking most of the right-handers today. They usually soft stuff away, followed up by fastballs inside, and then he just continues to move the ball around, whether he's going up, whether he's going down, whether he's fading that changeup away. Final pitch was the changeup that Miggy got out in front of.
Here is Victor Martinez with 1 out. Oberholzer has got him to put the ball on the ground twice. This time it's in the air. Straight to center field. Make it look easy against Cabrera and Martinez.
We talked about J.D. Martinez last night making his return back to Houston, but he's got a different swing. He's got a different stance. This was J.D. Martinez wearing an Astros uniform last year. Of course, he's done major damage in the Tigers uniform, but take a look at the hands difference. His hands are way up top here. They're a lot lower as a Detroit Tiger, and that's one of the reasons, the main reason why he's doing a lot better. He's getting to the ball a lot sooner than he did last year. He made a nice adjustment.
0-1 on J.D. Strikeout and a fly out in this game.
Unfortunately for J.D., he didn't get the opportunity in spring training this year with the Astros to show them his new stance, his new style.
Yeah, the changes had not really taken hold yet and not produced any results during spring training, so the Astros cut time.
A lot of people here believe that they already had their minds made up that J.D. Martinez was not going to make their team. Part the dollars he would make had they tried to send it down to AAA. It's all part of it.
No balls, 2 strikes. And sometimes a major part of it. When you talk about the money aspect, swing and a miss, and Martinez goes down for the 3rd time. Oberholzer looking impressive in the 6th. in Houston. Our game summary looks like this. The Astros on top as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Suarez RBI single, providing the Tigers only run. Oberholzer has looked good today. He's got 11 fly ball outs. Max, 10 strikeouts, ties his season high. The 3rd time this year he's had 10 strikeouts. And Max goes back to the mound. In fact, Scherzer with 10 has now moved into 17th place all time in the Tigers strikeout list. He just passed Dan Petrie.
Peaches.
Next up, Frank Tanana.
How many is he behind him?
Well, actually he tied Frank Tanana. So he passed Petrie, and now he's tied Tanana, so he's going to try and pass Tanana.
Oh, Frank's toast tonight.
After that, it's Joe Coleman. He's 15th. Yeah, one more strikeout, and unfortunately Frank is toast. There's a ball outside. Scherzer now has gone 1-1 on the leadoff man, Castro. Holiday flashing the signs.
Max not really efficient in the first pitch strike category. He is 12 of 24, but he's got that blazing fastball today, and he's been able to throw that ball right by these Astros hitters. 12 of 22, excuse me.
Castro has struck out twice in this game. Do I hear 3? Down he goes, and there's a season high 11th strikeout as we go back to the studio now for a game break and check in with Mickey York. They've been sitting out the rain a long time, Mick. Thanks very much. Raining in the great Midwest in KC today. There's a wave and a miss by Alex Presley. Season high 11. 15 is his career high. Wasn't that the series against the Pirates where they struck out like 1,000 times as a team?
Yeah, I think Verlander pitched in that series, and also Max pitched in that series.
Missed it inside. 1-1 on Presley, who singled in 2 in the first, but Max has given up none since. Down the left field line, slicing though.
Just a really nice adjustment made with Max Scherzer after the very first inning when he gave up a couple of runs. If you weren't with us, Jeff Jones, he met Max Scherzer at the top step. And they probably talked about the fact that the Houston Astros were sitting on breaking balls because all 3 of the hits they got in the first inning were on breaking balls. Since then, Max has had his foot on that gas pedal heavy. A lot of fastballs in the mid-90s.
Two and 2 on Castro, or on Presley rather. Castro struck out to start the inning. Dominguez waiting on deck. Tigers have been out hit in this game 6-4 and trail 2-1. Here's the 2-2. Bouncing ball foul. Presley played his college ball in Mississippi, where he played with a couple of guys who would go on to play in the big league. Seth Smith, Lance Lynn, Chris Coghlan playing out there with the Cubs in the National League.
Lance Lynn having a good year.
No doubt. And now Presley with the Houston Astros. He was with the Twins for a brief period. Drives this one down the right field line. Going to hook though.
This may be the pitch that told Jeff and also Max they were sitting on off-speed pitches early. It was Presley on a changeup. And this is not a bad located pitch for a changeup. It's away from him. It's off the plate. But he was able to reach out and hit it right back up the middle.
And that scored Springer and Singleton to make it 2-0 at that point. In fact, it was a 2-out hit. swing and a miss. And the strikeouts piling up now for Max. That's 12. Fans, don't forget you can celebrate the 30th anniversary of the 1984 championship season this Monday, where the Tigers battle the A's at 7:08. First 20,000 fans receive an '84 Tigers replica road jersey. If you'd like tickets, call 866-66-TIGER or check it out online, tigers.com. Ball 1 to Matt Dominguez. Scherzer now sitting at 93 pitches here in the 6th inning.
And pitch count really not all that bad, and having racked up 12 strikeouts.
I mentioned Max came in 4th in the American League in strikeouts, but his strikeouts per 9 was a little bit over 10 strikeouts per 9 innings, so he's gone beyond that.
The Houston Astros in June of this year struck out 16 times against the Tampa Bay Rays. I'm betting David Price started that game.
That would be a solid bet in my mind. Real solid bet. Oh, you're wrong. It's Alex Cobb.
Oh, the changeup. Alex Cobb.
Cobb had 11 of his 16 strikeouts.
I still would have bet.
Me too. We'd have both lost. Here's the 2-1 delivery. Speaking of Price, I wonder how long he's going to be in Tampa.
Well, we might see him make his final start as a Tampa Bay Ray when the Tampa squad makes a visit to Comerica Park right before the All-Star break. I think it's inevitable for him to be moved. He kind of knows it. The organization knows it. One, they can't afford him, and two, they can get awfully healthy if they're able to move him and get about 4 or 5 real good prospects.
Yeah, if he does get traded, it'll be really interesting to see what kind of haul the Rays will get out of that. I mean, you're talking about a legitimate ace.
Toronto's name has been mentioned. Seattle's name has been mentioned regarding Price.
Led the league in strikeouts coming in. David Price. There's a foul back out of play by Dominguez. 3-2 the count.
Well, the main reason why they're going to move Price is the fact that he's a free agent after this year is over. Scherzer is also a free agent, but there's been no indication nor any discussions about him going anywhere.
This will be pitch number 99. And it's ball 4. It's a 2-out walk for Dominguez.
First walk of the game issued by Max.
Here's Chris Carter. Strikeout in the 2nd, strikeout in the 4th inning.
Yeah, this is a bad matchup for Chris Carter.
And Max decides to come inside with a fastball and catches the inside corner. 0-1. There's an even 100 now for Max.
And stressful first, also stressful 5th.
Back in there again. This time he missed. Carter, a former top prospect in the Oakland A's system. Off the end of the bat, foul. The count goes 1-2. Again, Scherzer's career high in strikeouts, 15. He is 1 pitch away from getting his 13th of this game. And he got it. Struck him out for the third time in the game. 13 strikeouts for Max Scherzer. 3 more in this frame. Castro, Presley, and Carter. And we go to the 7th.
The 7th, game 2. Last night in game 1, Justin Verlander got the start, struck out 8, walked 1, 105 pitches over 6 innings. But Brad Osmus said the true test for Verlander with all these changes in his mechanics lately is how he feels a day after. Well, I can tell you right now, I spoke with Justin this morning. He said he felt fine the day after. He said these new changes to his mechanics, he's thrown a lot of pitches lately. He'll probably dial it down moving forward, but feeling very good after last night's outing, Mario.
And that's a great sign. Thanks, Trev. Appreciate it, as Verlander now has put together a couple pretty good starts.
Yeah, while Verlander was making those adjustments, he was not only pitching the one day, but then he would be thrown the next day, and he would throw the next day, take one day off, and then make his next start. That's why Brad didn't allow him to go any more last night than the 108 pitches that he threw.
So Hunter flies out to start things off here in the 7th. Yet another fly ball out.
And no doubt Brad and Jeff discussing whether they're going to allow Max to go back out there for the 7th inning. His pitch count is not in bad shape, but he has exerted a lot of energy in this game with the amount of strikeouts that he's got.
Yeah, he's got 13 of those. Certainly has had an effect on his pitch count. Ball low to Castellanos. 2 balls, no strikes on Nick. Just the bottom of the lineup that's got it going in the 5th inning for the Tigers. They got 3 hits. Hunter, Holiday, and Suarez. And that's how they got their run. Two old pitches high. Now it's 3-0. A couple of fly balls for Castellanos, both to right field, one in the 2nd, one in the 5th. Oberholzer threw just 9 pitches in the 6th inning to get the Tigers 1-2-3. And he has walked Castellanos, so the Tigers have the tying run aboard now. Hey, the countdown is on. From now until 8 p.m. tomorrow, you can get upper box tickets for just $20 to see the Tigers play the A's July 1st and 2nd, or the Tampa Bay Rays on the 3rd. Offer available exclusively at Tigers.com until 8 p.m. tomorrow only. Enter the coupon code STRIPES and take advantage of it. One on, one out. Second walk for the left-hander Oberholzer, and here comes Brent Strom, their pitching coach.
Are you looking forward to doing a game from the new 442 there at Comerica Park on July 5th?
It's going to be different. It's going to be fun.
I've heard that there's no more seats left. out there. Everybody knows you're going to be out there, so they've bought up all the seats.
You know, I had to buy security as well. I had to enlist the detail of security.
Will they protect me too?
They'll protect you as well. Don't worry. You know, we're such a big deal.
Now that is going to be fun, though.
That will be fun. I've got to admit, you know, the last time we did something like that, I think we were seated behind home plate.
Right.
A couple of years ago, seated with the fans. Fans, by the way, when we did that game behind home plate, wanted to buy us hot dogs. They brought us food. So that's kind of the thing that we're hoping for when we do the game out in right field.
I'm sure that will not be an issue.
No, I would think it's not. And who knows, maybe we will catch a home run ball. Here's Holiday now with 1 on, 1 out. Bunted toward third base. Oberholzer can't get a grasp on it. Everybody's safe.
I brought this up the last time that Holiday was up, that the third baseman, Matt Dominguez, obviously does not have the scouting report on Holiday. He likes to bunt for base hits down toward third base. So Holiday took advantage of that. He really took his time. He made sure he got the ball down in an area where it would force the pitcher into making the play. Dominguez wasn't even close to making the play. It's a real nice job by Brian.
Had he picked it up cleanly, I'm not sure if he would have gotten him, but he may have had a chance. That was his 4th bunt hit this year.
Funny, I was talking to Brian's mom when I was walking out of the ballpark in Arlington just a few days ago, and obviously she gets a kick out of it when we say that he learned how to bunt from his mom. And she said she simply learned how to watch. She was watching some, illustrations of people bunting, and she told Brian, you know what, you need to learn how to do this, and he has learned how to do it.
Some instructional videos and such.
Right.
That's great. Oberholzer is done after that bunt single by Brian Holiday. Taught to him by his mom. It is a Wallside Windows pitching change. To the bullpen go the Astros.
Top half of the 7th inning, runners on first and second. Brett Oberholzer, he was just recalled from the minor leagues last night. Dallas Keuchel could not go today. He threw 12 fly ball outs in this contest and really didn't give the Tigers a whole lot to hit while he was in there. He just kept the ball out of the center of the plate with a mixture of different fastballs, breaking balls, and changeups. And at the end of the day, he pitched a pretty good game against the best average team in the American League, the Detroit Tigers.
Well, here we go. The Tigers now have the tying run at second base. The final numbers, well, they're not actually complete yet, but the numbers on Oberholzer, 6 1/3. 5 hits, 1 run to this point. He's still responsible for Castellanos and Holiday. Right-hander Josh Zeid will take over now. And he delivers a strike to Eugenio Suarez.
Suarez has driven in the only run the Tigers have on the board so far today. And Zeid pitching in his 15th game, 13 1/3, 4.05 ERA, 12 strikeouts. 4 base on balls for the slender right-hander.
1 ball, 1 strike on Suarez. Singled in a run back in the 5th. Trying to at least tie this one up here in the 7th.
Anything hit to right field with George Springer out there. Dave Clark, third base coach, is going to have to make a quick decision. And Springer has the best arm of the trio of outfielders they have. And he's playing Suarez really shallow. Dave Clark was the third base coach here for 5 years in Houston before spending his final season as their first base coach.
Three balls and 1 strike. Zide, a former closer in the minor leagues for the Astros, saved 13 games in AAA last year. Got his first big league call-up last season. Here's the 3-1. Bouncing ball back up the middle. Diving stop out there by Gonzalez. He will probably save a run with that play, but the bases are loaded. An infield hit for Suarez.
That's why you leave your feet. Gonzalez was not going to get an out at any of the bases. But he left his feet. He could not field it cleanly, but he kept the ball close enough to where Castellanos was held up by Dave Clark. There's Dave Clark alertly getting to the bag and pointing to it to tell Castellanos, you stay right there.
Each team now with 6 hits, still only 1 out. Here is Rajay Davis. Good block at home plate by Castro. Castellanos at third base represents the tying run. He got it started with a 1-out walk from Oberholzer. Rajay with the bases loaded career at 361. Oh for 2 in this game with a walk. The 1-0. Strike called, and Rajay said, "Are you kidding me?"
For whatever reason, Rajay does better. And when there's runners on base versus the base is empty. The batting average about 90 points higher.
Real foul back out of play. So he's in the hole now, 1-2. Oberholzer hoping that his bullpen can help him out here.
He's already gotten some help momentarily. And from the shortstop, Marwin Gonzalez, on knocking down that base hit off the bat of Suarez.
Bouncing ball to third, backing up there. They're going to come home. Dominguez's throw gets the force. Bases remain loaded with 2 outs.
That's a nice job there by Dominguez. What you're taught to do there when you can't turn a double play, anything that takes you to your right with the bases loaded, you simply take the out at home plate. Anything to your left, if it's hit sharp enough, then you go for the double play. 5-4-3 variety. But with Rajay Davis running, he didn't even want to risk going to the bag, touch the bag, and then go to first base.
Brad Ausmus out to have a quick talk with third base umpire Kerwin Danley. Not sure what that was about. So here is Kinsler down with 2 outs. Tying run at third. That's Holiday. Bases are loaded with Tigers, and 0 for an extra base hit here. 2-1 Houston. Kinsler has a double in 3 at bats. Checked it, 1 around. Now it's 0-2. Holiday. He's at third base. Suarez at second base. Davis at first. Thought about it, laid off. 1-2. Cabrera would be next. And the hope is he will be next. 1-2 on Ian Kinsler. He's fought that one off, protecting himself, and he fouls it back. Not too many scoring opportunities today for the Tigers in this one. They cashed in a run in the fifth inning for Scherzer. Now they're trying to at least get one more in to tie this one up. Missed it high. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Kinsler.
Trying to get him to chase a 95-mile-per-hour fastball above the letters.
Just a shade high. Now it's 2-2. And Castro could not hold on. Kinsler is still alive. Two balls and 2 strikes on Ian Kinsler. Bases loaded in a 2-1 game in the 7th. And again he wouldn't chase, and now the count goes full at 3-2. Kinsler has worked this count full after falling behind 0-2.
And Castro now wants to go out and make sure that the next pitch that he calls is the one that Zide wants to throw. He's got a lot of confidence in his breaking ball. It's also a situation where they may not even put down the sign. That's why Altuve came in to find out exactly which pitch would be thrown here.
Here's the 3-2. Fouled away. That'll get back into the seats. Tardy on 95, and he scattered it down the right field line. So it turned into an 8-pitch at bat after Ian fell behind 0-2 in the count. Another foul back out of play. Oberholzer started the inning, got the first out quickly. Hunter in the fly ball, but then he walked Castellanos. Then a bunt single by Holiday. Zide came in. Now he's trying to finish off the Tigers here with the bases loaded. And that's in the air. Shallow left field. Hose coming hard. Dives. Made the catch. L.J. Hose preserves the lead. A diving play in left field. And we'll go to the bottom of the 7th. Diving play by L.J. Hose. And Oberholzer is fired up.
Houston Astros in that inning. Marwin Gonzalez, the shortstop, made one. And LJ Hose also made an outstanding play. Got a late break, but able to come in and recover, left his feet, and prevented the Tigers from scoring a run there.
He plays so deep in left field, I thought he had no shot to get to that ball. And I really thought it was going to drop in, but Hose able to run it down in a diving play. So here is Marwin Gonzalez.
He's
driving a bunt.
He's out.
Did it hit him?
It looked like it may have hit him out of the batter's box in fair territory. We'll see.
And Brian Holiday looking back into his bench saying, I'm not so sure. Hard to tell there.
We're looking at a replay in the Tigers dugout. Brad Ausmus hasn't gotten the signal yet. Just gave Holiday the sign. Go ahead.
Immediately Brad asked Holiday, and Holiday just shrugged his shoulders. I couldn't tell. Here's the 0-1. Strike called. 0-2 now on Marwin Gonzalez.
Yeah, better look here for you.
Hard to tell with the white ball and the white jersey, but I don't think that we saw anything that indicated it hit him. Here's the ball hit back up the middle. Suarez got there into center field for Marwin Gonzalez, taking a wide turn and heading back.
Gonzalez having a pretty good day. And that's his second hit off Max, and we already talked about the play that he made last half inning, saving a run.
So here is LJ Hose, who has already contributed with the glove. Now he'll try to do the same with the bat here. We're in the 7th inning in a 1-run game, 2-1 in favor of the Astros. First 2 games in this series have been tight ones. Activity in the Detroit bullpen. Chance Smith, the right-hander. Phil Koch is the lefty tuning up. Runner goes. Swing and a miss. Holiday's throw. Tag. Out at second base. Brian Holiday cuts him down.
And Bo Porter, the manager of the Houston Astros, gambled giving Hose the hit and run, and Max has thrown a lot of balls today that they simply have made no contact on. 13 strikeouts. He didn't make contact with that slider. It's a good thing to throw Kerry Kinsler right into the baseline to apply the tag to Marwin Gonzalez.
And a strike called on LJ Hose. No balls, 2 strikes. Outside, 1-2. Tigers in the 8th inning will have Cabrera, Martinez, and J.D. Martinez.
Yeah, the next pitch that Max will throw will be 110 today. And his season high is 116.
Fly ball center field. Davis on the move to the gap. 2 gone. Well, join us again tomorrow. The Tigers wrap up this series with the Astros. Our coverage begins at 1 p.m. with Tigers Live. Tigers and Astros tomorrow at 1. You'll see it right here on Fox Sports Detroit. Here comes Altuve. 2 more hits today for Altuve, which now makes him 6 for 8 in the series. Scherzer missing outside, 1-0. Altuve also has 4 stolen bases. Stole home in last night's ball game, the 2nd time in his career he has stolen home. Little chopper back toward the mound. Max comes off quickly, and Altuve is out. And that is that for Houston. We go to the 8th inning. Still 2-1 Astros.
Innings pitched here today by Max Scherzer gave up 2 runs in the very first inning, and that's been it. And this is our Jimmy John's freaky fast delivery of the game. Didn't matter whether Max was filling up that strike zone with the mid-90s fastball, whether he was throwing changeups, curveballs, or sliders. They really had no answer for him after the very first inning. Nice adjustment made by Jeff Jones and Max to figure out what the Houston Astros batters were doing to Max early in this game.
So Scherzer gets the high fives for really putting together a tremendous effort today after giving up the 2 runs in the first. And he was able to rack up 13 strikeouts, a season high for Max. Only 1 base on balls, and now the Astros have gone to the bullpen. Wallside Windows pitching change. It'll be Chad Qualls to take over for Houston.
Yeah, the veteran right-hander still has a pretty good arm. He's got some real good sink arm side with the sinker at about 93, 94. Tiger saw him in last night's game. Look at that bottom note. He's only walked 3 in 30 games so far this year.
Well, he's going to have to face some pretty good hitters here. Miguel Cabrera is going to lead it off here in the 8th.
Miguel's due, too.
He's due. Victor's due. In fact, JD is due as well. They're all hitless in this game. 1 for 7 career against Qualls. And the first pitch is outside, 1-0. Cabrera, Martinez 0 for 9 combined in this game. So we'll see if they can turn that around here in the 8th. Strike called on the outside corner. Chad Qualls, a 10-year Major League veteran, returns to Houston, the team in which he broke into the big leagues with, before moving out to Arizona, then Tampa, then San Diego, among others. The 1-1. Little number off the end of the bat. And the struggles continue for Miggy. He is hitless again today. That's an 0 for 4. 1 out here in the 8th.
Porcello gets some sprints in.
Quickly, Rick.
Going to hang out with his peeps in the bullpen.
Watch. That door's not real stable.
No, it wasn't.
What's Brad talking about? So 1 out. Here's Martinez. Porcello has made it safely to the bullpen.
It's almost like Porcello had a message from the manager.
I wonder if the phone's broken.
Or either they don't want anybody eavesdropping on their conversation. One of the two.
Well, now he's got to stay. He can't come back. too long of a run. I wonder if there's G. Lamont. Looks like the phone might be broken. There's a ball up high to Victor Martinez. Well, Porcello playing messenger in this ball game today.
Well, he said something to Jabba. Jabba started to move around.
Martinez looks at a ball outside, and the count rolls to 2-0. Oh for 3 in this game for Victor. 0 for 8 in the series. Gino's still monkeying with the phone there, so apparently it's out of order. Strike call, 2-1 on Martinez.
Here's Porcello after he got to the bullpen. He was pointing and talking to Jabba Chamberlain.
Two and one. Now 2-2 on Victor. JD Martinez on deck. Tigers one swing away from tying this one up. And we've got a guy at the dish right now that has 20 home runs. Way outside, 3-2. They've gone with Zide and now Qualls out of their bullpen.
Well, Qualls is simply picking his outs right here. He doesn't really mind all that much if he walks Victor. If Victor gets a base hit, he's going to have to hit Qualls' pitch here in this situation.
Jabba now starting to at least loosen.
Well, if the Tigers take the lead, it'll be Jabba. If not, it'll be Cope.
Ripped foul. Three and 2 on Victor Martinez. We're in the 8th inning. It is a 2-1 ball game. The Astros scored 2 in the first and got nothing else against Max Scherzer. Tigers' only run coming in the 5th against Oberholzer. RBI single by Suarez. Pulled and caught at first base by Singleton. Hard hit ball and Singleton backhands it.
He caught it in foul territory. That's how close he was playing to the line. It's a hanging breaking ball thrown by Qualls, ripped by Victor, snagged by Singleton in foul territory, basically.
Two gone. It's going to bring up JD Martinez. JD hammers one to left field. That ball is down the line, and it's going to drop, go all the way to the wall. Martinez on his way to second base. He is pulling in with a 2-out double. And the tying run in scoring position now. 2-out, 2-base hit for JD.
And JD got a breaking ball from Qualls and got out in front of it a little bit and hit it off right off the end of the bat. But LJ Hose couldn't get over there to make a play. And before stand-up double, 14th of the year for JD.
So now Torrey Hunter with 2 outs. Hunter flied out his last time up. Started the rally in the 5th that got the Tigers their only run with a single. Bouncing ball to short. On the charge, Gonzalez. And they're throwing out to end the inning. So the Tigers get a 2-out double strand man. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by Arby's. Try Arby's new King's Hawaiian Roast Beef BLT today. And by Bell Tire. Get the lowest tire price, period. Bell Tire. Back here at Minute Maid Park, where apparently they need some help with the telephones because they're still messing with it. The Tigers had to send Rick Porcello out there to deliver a message. It's a good job of Chamberlain warming up.
Look at Rick. He's on standby, ready to go deliver another message.
He was doing his laps around the ballpark yesterday.
He's already run today. Again.
Well, the Tigers down by a run as we go to the bottom of the 8th here in Houston. And they have a new pitcher now. It'll be Phil Coke coming out of the Detroit bullpen.
And Phil Coke pitching some pretty good baseball his last 10 outings. He really hasn't given up a whole lot. And he's striking out a lot of batters. Pitching with much more confidence. Fastball about 95, 96. With a good breaking ball and the usable changeup.
So Coke trying to keep this a one-run game to get it to the 9th inning, and Phil will face Springer, Singleton, Castro, 2, 3, and 4 in the Astros lineup. And it's a ball outside to start things in the bottom of the 8th inning. Springer probably trying to, or glad to see that Scherzer is out of the game. Max struck him out twice in his last 2 at-bats. He got him in the 3rd and the 5th. We'll try someone else here.
Yeah, he also got Singleton, their number 3 hitter, and Castro, their number 3 hitter. So he punched all 3 of these guys out that are due to face Coke 7 times.
13 total for Max Scherzer in the strikeout column today. Springer has 40 RBIs, leading their ball club. A single and a run scored back in the 1st. The Astros have done nothing since the 1st inning. Wasn't cheated there. 1-2.
Once he learns how to cut his swing down, he will be a much better player. And right now his swing is just way too big for the kind of power and bat speed that he can generate.
Yeah, he has let it loose a few times today. He's behind here 1-2. Coke straightens him up.
Yeah, Phil overthrew that last fastball. 95. It stayed up in the zone.
Singleton and then Castro here in the 8th. Here's the 2-2. 3-2. They are still waiting out that rain delay in Kansas City. They've been there at least a couple of hours now.
Well, more than likely the Angels only make 1 trip there, so they're going to do everything that they can within their power not to resume this game tomorrow before they play another game or a doubleheader. Don't know exactly what the rules are, but they don't want to play a doubleheader for one, and they don't want this one rained out.
Here's the 3-2. Rolled foul down the 3rd base line. In the top of the 5th inning, when the rains came in, the Angels were leading 2-0.
And so that game is not quite official yet.
And the Tigers came in with a 3.5 game lead over KC, and certainly equally important for the Angels. They were 4.5 back of Oakland in the American League West. Popped him up. 3rd base side, Castellanos. 1 gone in the 8th. Hey, Tuesday, July 15th, baseball's best gather in Minnesota as the captain, Derek Jeter, takes the field in his last All-Star game ever in what promises to be an emotional and unforgettable night. Special coverage begins at 4:30 on Fox Sports 1. followed by the 2014 All-Star Game at 7:30 on Fox. Here is Singleton, a single, a strikeout, a strikeout. Ball high, 1-0 on Singleton. Singleton hit 4 home runs in his first 11 games in the big leagues with the Astros. The only other Houston player to do that, J.D. Martinez, who now wears Tigers colors. Here's the 1-0. Spun him out of there. 2 balls, no strikes. Tigers, by the way, have Castellanos, Holiday, and Suarez to up when they get to the 9th. They're bottom 3. Oh, what a rip there by Singleton. Coke, man, he's been 95, 96. He's bringing it.
He's been doing this for about 2 weeks now. High velocity with the fastball.
Same result, 2-2. Jerome Williams warming up. He was up earlier in the game. And he's watching the action right now. It's right now at least going to be a 1-run game if we stay this way and get to the 9th. Here's the 2-2. Missed it high. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Chet Walsh leads their team with 9 saves. He came on to pitch the 8th, gave up a double to Martinez, but then got Hunter to ground out.
I wonder if Bo Porter felt like it was better to have Qualls pitch the 8th against Miggy and Victor and JD versus Williams pitching that inning and allowed Williams to pitch the 9th.
Swing and a miss. Singleton is out of there. Yeah, I would agree. I mean, why save your closer for a part of the lineup that is not quite as potent as one you will see in the 8th? I mean, it's, to me, if that's what he did, it's good strategy.
It wouldn't shock me as to them doing something like that. We well pointed out that the Houston Astros rely on numbers and data and matchups more than any team in baseball.
Singleton strikes out for the 3rd time in this game. Tigers pitching now with 14 strikeouts. Here's Castro. He has fanned 3 times.
Baseball's a cruel game, isn't it?
It can be tough. It can be really tough.
Walk-off home run last night. Might have the golden sombrero today.
11th inning home run last night for Castro was the first ever that he'd had. And now today he answers with Scherzer striking him out 3 times. And he's facing Koch here in the 8th.
Good pitch right there by Phil Koch, but he didn't get the call from Gary Cederstrom.
Two balls, no strikes. Swing and a miss. Castro now 1 for 7 in the series. Now Koch ready with the 2-1 offering. Here it is. Bouncing ball back up the middle. Kinsler charging. Castro is out. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Phil Cope. We go to the ninth. Tigers need at least one. One score as we go now to the top of the ninth inning. And right now we send it down to Trevor Thompson with a preview of what's coming up on Tigers Live.
Well, Mario, we just heard from Mickey York. He'll be hosting Tigers Live postgame from inside the Coliseum Studios. I'll hold it down inside the Tigers clubhouse as we get postgame reaction from Brad Ausmus, Matt Scherzer, and the rest of the guys on Game 2 of this 3-game set. And, of course, we'll hear from you and Rod, get your take on tonight's game and look ahead to tomorrow's series finale. All that's coming up on Tigers Live, everybody. Stick around. Back up to you guys.
All right, Trev, thanks. There is a hope that a comeback will be talked about in Tigers Live. Jerome Williams now is on to try and close it out for the Astros.
He checks in with a 5.45 ERA. He's pitching in his 25th game. And Jerome Williams, the veteran right-hander. Fastball anywhere from 90 to 94. Breaking ball to changeup.
So the bottom three coming up for the Tigers. It'll be Castellanos, Holiday, and Suarez facing Jerome Williams. Tigers have had some chances in the 7th. They loaded the bases. Kinsler dumped one into short left, but L.J. Hose made a great diving catch on, then a double, but couldn't score in the 8th. And a strike called on Nick Castellanos. You might notice that pink glove that Jerome Williams is wearing. That's in the honor of his mother, Deborah, who passed away from breast cancer. Here's a base hit to left. And so Castellanos with a leadoff single, tying run is on.
And Tigers have Austin Jackson on the bench. I don't know if they'll use him as a pinch runner or maybe Don Kelly.
Alex Avila will be pinch hitting here for Brian Holiday. .231 for Alex. It's been a pretty good road trip for Avila.
Not bad at all.
There's AJ pinch running at first base. So Castellanos does his job. Signal to start things off here in the 9th. Avila batting .381 on this trip, 8 for 21. He has seen Williams only 3 times. The one hit that he does have, it's a homer. Alex hit a big homer here last year to send the Tigers to a victory. And he looks at ball 1. pink glove we talked about that Jerome wears to honor his mother. Ever since she passed away in 2001. Here's the 1-0. And Avila looks at a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Again, Qualls pitched the 8th, so Williams pitching here in the 9th. Suarez waiting on deck. Chopped foul, and the count on Avila now is 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Here's that home run that Avila hit last year. And when the Tigers made their lone visit to Minute Maid Park, he hit that home run off Jose Veras on May 3rd.
That would be a 9th inning game winner. And Avila would go on to be teammates with Jose Veras later in the season. Jose Veras now back with Houston again this year. 1-2. Chased it outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Williams has had a couple of save opportunities this year. He is 0 for 2 in those opportunities. A couple of blown saves. Now Avila given time. Checked it, and he went around. Strike 3. Avila is out. Strikeout for Williams. 1 gone. Runner remains at first base.
90-mile-per-hour cut fastball that caught the outside corner. And for strike 3.
So with 1 out, here is Suarez. Eugenio knocked in a run back in the 5th. RBI single, the only run so far for the Tigers. Then he had an infield hit in the 7th. Time called now, and here comes Brent Strom. Well, the Astros pitching coach making a visit out to the mound. Oberholzer started this one for the Astros. Zide came on to get the final 2 outs of the 7th. Qualls pitched the 8th, and now Williams here in the 9th. And Darren Downs now starting to warm up. So in the event they have to piece this one together, they're getting the lefty warming.
And Strom will sit out there by the manager, Bo Porter, to buy a little time just in case the Tigers want to use Don Kelly as a pinch hitter.
Meanwhile, Joe Nathan is heating up in case in the Tigers bullpen. Line drive to left. Suarez has another hit. Jackson on his way to second, stops there, and Suarez has his 3rd hit of the game. 2 on now with 1 out.
And Suarez got himself a breaking ball that was down and was also away from him, but it wasn't thrown very hard, and that's why he was able to hit it back to left field.
So the Tigers very much alive here in the 9th inning. Tying run at 2nd, go ahead run at 1st.
Yeah, Bo Porter thought that he was giving Jerome Williams the easier assignment, and by having Chayat Qualls pitch the 8th and going through the teeth of the Tigers' batting order, and then saving Jerome Williams for the 9th.
Rajai Davis 1 for 3 against Williams with a home run.
Rajai trying to foil that strategy.
0 for 3 with a walk for Davis. Tigers now have 9 hits. Bunting back to the mound. Williams on the barehand. Quick throw. He is out at first base. The runners will advance. Davis almost bunted his way on.
And if you're going to bunt in that situation, you have to get it away from the pitcher, and you can't let him make the play. If you make Dominguez, the third baseman, make the play, then you do get yourself a base hit. But a nice play by Jerome.
That was a really good play by Williams. He got rid of that immediately, and they nipped him at the wire. So it's come down to this. Ian Kinsler was up there with the bases loaded in the 7th and was robbed on a diving play by L.J. Hose, and now he comes up there with 2 outs in the 9th. And he looks at ball 1. Kinsler's handsome history with Williams, 8 for 24. Up and in. The count goes to 2-0. Kinsler 1 out of 4 in this game. Had a double way back in the first inning. Did not score. Cabrera waiting on deck. The 2-0. Kinsler swings, high drive, left center field, ball hit well. That ball is up, and that ball is gone. It's out of here, a home run for Kinsler. A 3-run shot, and the Tigers have the lead. And the Tigers fans here in Houston are going nuts. Two-out, 3-run shot for Detroit. Four-2 Tigers. Homer number 10 for Ian Kinsler. Here is Cabrera. Astros fans are stunned.
What a road trip Ian Kinsler has had. He got himself a fastball and got underneath it and hit it where the grass doesn't grow. Hose couldn't run it down. Presley couldn't run it down. They have been running down everything in this series. That's a big homer for Ian Kinsler.
What a spot for Kinsler. He was up 2-0 in the count. He knew he'd get something to hit because Cabrera was on deck.
Look at that bench.
Miggy lines one into right field. Springer coming on, and that'll end the inning. Too late, though. Ian Kinsler, a 3-run shot. Tigers have their first lead of the game. Let's go to the bottom of the 9th.
promised you earlier in the game, it is Miller time, and it is brought to you by Miller Lite. Ian Kinsler stepped to the plate with the runners aboard. That would be one runner, and he hits a home run into the outfield. That gets over the line over the 404 sign. He absolutely crushed that for a 3-run homer.
Oh, what a clutch knock. 2-out, 3-run shot. Tigers were staring 2 consecutive losses to the Astros right in the face, but now they have an opportunity as Kinsler homers. And it'll be Joe Nathan trying to nail down the save here.
And Joe looking for his 17th save of the season. He's had a total of 21 chances. And this would be number 22.
So Alex Avila will stay in the game as well, and he will catch. Don Kelly is the new third baseman. And Jackson stays in the game and plays center. Here we go. 3 outs to get. And it's going to be Presley to lead it off for the Astros. Swing and a miss. 0-1. Joe Nathan, after Coke pitched the 8th, got him 1-2-3. Presley, Dominguez, Carter. Strike called, and now quickly 0-2. Presley 2-run single in the first, otherwise 1 for 3 total tonight. Tigers now have 4 runs on 10 hits, and Houston 2 runs 7 hits. Detroit trailed the whole way until the 9th inning in this one. Fouled it off.
Sounded like a home game here after the Kinsler home run.
It sure did. It was so loud. Tigers fans were on their feet cheering. Now we'll see if they can put it away.
Detroit fans don't play.
Here is Nathan's 0-2. And he missed with it. 1-2. Astros need a base runner to bring the tying run to the plate. Here's the 1-2. Nathan right now tied for 5th in the American League with 16 saves. It's been an up and down, uneven season for the Tigers closer. And the 1-2 again. Drill deep in right field. Way back. Carter looks up, and that ball is gone. Alex Presley with a solo shot, and now it's 4-3.
That is only the 4th home run of the season for Presley, who's not known for having much power, but Joe Nathan hung him a slider, and he absolutely killed it.
Yes, he did.
This slider didn't do a whole lot.
It's a 1-run ball game now, 4-3. It's gotten the crowd back into it. Here's Matt Dominguez. Ball 1 high. You've seen Nathan a few times, 0 for 4, 2 strikeouts. Bender drops in for a strike. Fifth home run allowed this year by Nathan. We got him to pop that one up right side of the infield. It'll be Kinsler.
And one thing Nathan might want to try to do is find a better arm slot which would allow him to get these breaking balls down. There's another breaking ball that probably gets too much plate, but it's popped back by Dominguez.
Same story here. Career verse 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts for Carter.
And Carter has already struck out 3 times today, courtesy of Max Scherzer.
0-1.
He continues to swing at those breaking balls that are unhittable.
Scherzer finished this game with 13 strikeouts. He'll get a no decision.
Had a huge fastball today.
That time he laid off. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the 1-1 pitch. 1-2 on Chris Carter.
That's what happens when you get so many breaking balls. If you're Carter, you start to think about the breaking ball, and then you're tardy on the fastball. It really doesn't matter what Nathan throws up there on this particular pitch. It'll be a swing and miss if he locates it. Well, you got to get a little closer than that.
Not even Carter's going to go after that one. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Leadoff home run here by Presley has made it a 4-3 game.
As a hitter in this particular situation, you just want to put the ball in play. I mean, you do not want to strike out 4 times. Been there before. You just want to put it in. You'll take a ground out. You'll take anything but a strikeout.
Two and 2. Well, you thought about it. 3 and 2.
Well, if you throw it 2 and 2, you may as well come back with it 3 and 2.
Marwin Gonzalez due next. 1 out, 1 run in, 4-3 Detroit. Swing and a miss, struck him out. Carter strikes out for the 4th time today.
We haven't seen 94 out of Nathan's hand very often this year. Most of his fastballs have been 90, 91. But he reached back to get 94 there.
And with 2 outs, it is down to Marwin Gonzalez. Singles in each of his last 2 at-bats, trying to keep it going here for the Houston Astros. And he looks at ball 1. Same 2 teams tomorrow wrapping up this series. Tigers and the Houston Astros from Minute Maid Park. It'll be Smiley and Feldman tomorrow. Two and 0 the count. Scherzer, Koch, and Nathan. Brad Ausmus hoping that is enough tonight. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Gonzalez takes it. Now it's 3-0. Trying to get the time run on. LJ Ho is waiting on deck, and then if it got as deep as the top of the order, it would be Jose Altuve. It's in there. Strike 3 and 1.
Any base runners wouldn't be all bad for Gonzalez to take a 3-2 pitch here, 3-1 pitch, even if it's a fastball right down the middle.
High fly ball center field. Jackson back should do it.
We'll take that too.
And the ball game is over. A comeback win for the Tigers. A 3-run homer by Ian Kinsler in the 9th inning, and the Tigers win 4-3. What a good win for the ball club today. They were within 1 out of falling in the first 2 games in the series, but comeback win for the Tigers. 4-3 your final score here this afternoon. Each team with a win in this series. We'll be back.